dude. Let's go. Patrick, thank you. Let's fucking go. Start it off right. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you, Patrick. Make sure you hit that like button, everybody. Make sure you hit that like button.
Brian, you're drunk. You're drunk.
Where you going? Nowhere.
Production to Thailand and to Vietnam.
The population in Thailand is 63 million people. It is twice the size of Wyoming. Its chief exports are textiles, footwear, and rice. Each year, approximately 13,000 people are killed in car accidents in Thailand.
Call them dumps, big massive dumps.
All right, let's just pop right in. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Blunt Politics. I appreciate you joining me. Today's show is our Thursday show. It is August 28th, 2025. And I appreciate you once again for joining me. Thank you for coming back. Hit that like button on the way in. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Those are absolutely free things that you can do that go a long way in helping this channel. If you'd like to go above and beyond, several different ways in which you could do that too. Let's get these out of the way early, and so we don't have to repeat it all the time. But there's a Venmo up here that you can see just by my hand. If you take a picture of that, send you to my Venmo. You can bust a buck and try your luck in supporting some independent media. $1 from everybody in the chat would go a long, long way. If it's not me that gives you the most bang for your buck, gives you the most value, then support the creator that does give you the most value, the most entertainment, the most, time during your day that you kill, whatever the hell it may be. Yesterday's show, we started the sickening interview between war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu and pretty big dickhead, also known as Patrick Bet David. I wanted to continue to go on with that, but first, let me bring in the chat, bring in the mods. What's going on, mods? How are you? Thank you so much for what you do. I appreciate you keeping that chat a safe place. Everybody else that's in here, Bri, Lisa, Mom, Steve, Julie, what up, Dame? What's up, Lady K? How are you? What up, Leron? What's going on, brother? Tamra? Everybody's in here. What's up, Nicholas? What up, Patui? Susie, how are you? Hi, Olga, Forever Young, Eileen, Clockwork Lemon. It took me a minute. How are you doing, buddy? Appreciate you for being here. Grumpy Cat, what's going on? Triplia, everybody, I appreciate it. What up, Johnny Cats? What's happening, guys? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Lots to talk about, lots to get into. We're going to dive right into it, though. We are going to dive right into it. We got through about a quarter of this interview yesterday on the show. If you didn't join us, you could go back to yesterday's broadcast and take a look at the second half of the show. First half was with Jesse Dollimore. Fantastic interview. So check out the first half as well. But if you're really looking for this interview here, whatever you want to call it, between Pretty Big Douchebag and Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu, then you want to check out the second half of the show yesterday. But I'm going to bring these fools in. Like I said, we got through about a quarter of the way. I think I'm roughly at the area. I might back up maybe a couple seconds just to make sure that we're, kind of overlapping in the right ways. But I wanted to make sure that we continue to call out this guy's propaganda and nonsense. And it's pretty funny. I don't know. I'll go back. I'll take him off the screen while I'm talking. But I don't know if you guys have heard or know about Mark Maron or the stir that he created recently with his new stand-up that he came out with, talking about the Roganites, the Joe Rogan bros, and the group of comics that surround Joe Rogan and kind of lick his boots and suck off or whatever he's feeding to them, and that whole thing. But he actually said in his stand-up, he made a very good point where he was like, if Hitler was alive today, if Adolf Hitler was alive today, what he would be doing is he'd be going on the Theo Von podcast. He'd be going on the Nelk Boys podcast. He'd be doing all this shit to try to, revamp his image on the world stage, to try to, again, spread his propaganda far and wide. Again, remember, Adolf Hitler was the one that started the act from politicians of flying to different parts of the country, different parts of your state, whatever it be, whatever you're running for, and doing multiple campaign rallies or speeches in a single day. So that was pretty much Hitler that invented that for politicians, and that has only continued throughout time. But this would be no different. Don't think that he wouldn't be on top of it, and Joseph Goebbels wouldn't be on top of just what he needed to do in order to rehash or rehab Hitler's image, or create this image that he wanted people to portray Hitler as. You know what I mean? So this is no fun. Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you so much, Linda. And everybody that gives, like I was saying, there's the Venmo. You can become, you can do patreon.com/Boston Brian. There should be a ticker just on the bottom letting you know where to go. So as little as $5 a month on Patreon, you can help this channel. If you can't do the $5, don't worry about it. You become a channel member just underneath me for $2.99 for the month. It goes a long, long way. You can also gift memberships. You can, gift a sticker, a super sticker, or a super chat. So there's a ton of different ways. My apologies, I didn't finish that to begin with. But also, if you give or donate anything that is, that goes by in the chat that I don't see, don't worry about it. Stick around to the end of the show, and I make sure to recognize every single person that comes out of pocket with anything that you throw towards this show, whether it be on Venmo, PayPal, whatever it may be. And I appreciate it very much. I get an email if you sign up at Patreon, so I'll be sure to thank anybody that does that as well. But yeah, don't fret. Don't get frustrated if it goes by in the chat and I don't happen to catch it. I do absolutely give everybody their my sign, my show of appreciation at the end of the show for their contribution. So I appreciate you sticking with me. All right, let's hop into again the war criminal in the morning. Again, this is I don't understand this. Did anybody figure this out? Anybody that was watching yesterday and heard me call this out? I'm going to show you the title of this video once again, just in case for people didn't see this. It's actually still highlighted. I actually still have it highlighted from yesterday's show. I didn't touch that today. The name of this video from Patrick Beck David is, quote, Israel's fighting your war, end quote. Netanyahu admits genocide, slams AIPAC critics, and Trump owning Gaza. Now, we got through a quarter of this yesterday. We got through about 11 minutes of it. So in that period of time, I did not hear Benjamin Netanyahu even remotely admit to the genocide that he's now, undertaking in Palestine, right? Not even remotely close. So I don't know if this was just the biggest fucking case of clickbait you could possibly ever imagine, right? Or if there is still something yet to come in this interview that I haven't seen yet. Where he actually does admit to the genocide. I can't really fathom that happening. But again, that's the title of the video. A very well-known podcast, almost 2.7 million subscribers, right? So, not new to the game. Netanyahu admits genocide is the title. All right. So I just want to make that clear to everybody. So I want to really dive deep into this and see where he admits it, because he hasn't thus far. And we're 11 minutes in here of a 41-minute interview. So let's continue with these assholes here. And you can tell Patrick Bet David is doing everything possible, I believe, in order to plug in the word genocide, in order to make sure that he says the word genocide so that he can't get, expressive reactions that like the Nelk boys got when they interviewed Benjamin Netanyahu and didn't push back, didn't ask him about the genocide, didn't even critique him at all, right? It was just the most softball of softball interviews. So I think PBD kind of realized that. He kind of noticed what happened to the Nelk boys, and he knew that he had to kind of somehow, some way get this word or get some sort of pushback in there without actually pushing back. So what he does is he pushes it off on other people, where he says, oh, these other people are saying this, these other people are saying that, the people saying that you have committed you're engaged in a genocide right now, they're not politically active, they must not know what they're talking about or watch the news, right? So he's trying to say the words genocide, but also trying to make it seem like it's a far-fetched idea that only people that aren't really paying attention have, right? But also being like, well, I said the words genocide, so you're not going to be able to critique me. And what I'm really kind of curious in, and maybe as we get through this, we'll go through, but I'm really curious as to what the comments are on this, right? First one First comment I read. Not a single question on Gaza, the civilian killings, leveling of Gaza, starvation, occupation. That tells you a lot. Damn, after getting financial freedom, I thought you would grow some balls. Hold on, let me zoom in. Maybe this is something we have to check out right now. How's that? That a little better? A little better for you guys right there? Oh, thank you, Luis. Appreciate you, brother. I love being when we learn and get exposed to other people when we listen to FDNRA, ICE, Netanyahu, and Trump and their supporters. Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much for your support. 17 months. That's huge, dude. That's huge. Thank you. But you can tell PBD's crowd ain't having it. PBD's crowd ain't having it. I paused the video 4 seconds in because I'm only here for the comments. Most obvious damage control run of all time. PBD is propaganda. PBD now classifies as propaganda. We see right through this shit, dude. What a shame. Pure evil personified, given a platform by PBD. This man is either directly or indirectly responsible for millions of deaths of innocent people around the world. Remember PBD, his, quote, fortune by running a pyramid scheme company and screwing over thousands of hopefuls, burning their money to join his program. I'm ready to see the fall of PBD. It's all happening very quick. I can see what in the propaganda is this. And look at the likes, guys. You know what I mean? 2.3K likes on this one. 6.3K likes, 4.1, 7.3, 4.3. And this hasn't even been refreshed since yesterday, right? Since we started this yesterday. So I'm sure it's even more than that now. But yeah, absolutely. He's finding out. Love PBD finding out. Right. He's at the fuck around. He's at the find out phase of the fuck around battle right now. Because this is very reminiscent of the Nelk Boys comment section after they had their sit down with Netanyahu and fucking rubbed his taint with a handful of Vaseline the whole time. Satan Yahoo. Boy, that was a long Israeli commercial ad from BB. Wow. How about Gaza, innocent lives they've killed, starvation? Congrats, BBD. You just interviewed a war criminal. How morally corrupt do you have to be to do propaganda piece for this monster? PBD is bought and paid for. I'm not even skipping fucking comments here. I haven't even skipped a comment. This is every single fucking comment. Check this out. Bro left his soul in Iran and came to America. If you're subscribed to this channel still after this, you actually are unintelligent. I guess once a fraud, always a fraud. Huh, Patrick? Shameful. This comment section proves there is still hope in humanity. Let it be known that PBD is a spineless hack. This is every fucking comment, bro. And I gotta say, this comment here, this comment section still proves there is still hope in humanity. Is kind of the feeling that I have, right? Because as sucked in as some of these people were, and you know some of these people are avid PBD listeners. These all can't be fucking just random rando accounts that ain't never fucking listened to this guy before. PBD has definitely sold his soul to the devil. All PBD channels getting unfollowed, literally would do anything for views. Spineless. We live in an age of truth and things are becoming obvious. The only good thing about this video is the comment section. PBD has always been a sellout. This interview just is the nail in the coffin. Humanity is neither right or left. It's humanity. Thank you, all the people in the comments. I mean, this is fucking remarkable, dude. PBD is bought and compromised. What a sick world we live in where people interview war criminals for views. I came straight to the comments and they didn't disappoint. Yo, this is crazy. This is fucking crazy. Yo, PBD getting fucking blasted in his own comment section here, bro. PB didn't follow the lesson from the Nelk Boys and now purposely tried to lose all the supporters he had. I will never support this genocide enabler after this. Goodbye, PBD. Didn't expect you to throw straight softball questions. Why didn't you ask him about international journalists aren't allowed into Gaza? You just helped facilitate the genocide. Congratulations. Fuck me, bro. Damn. The audience should feel insulted that PBD respects them so little that he thought they'd be okay with seeing this. In a just world, the next episode of this show would have 0 views, or at least every new upload should be a reminder that this is happening. Being the top comment. That's crazy. No single question about West Bank. No single question about the 2-state solution. No single question about the kids dying from lack of food. No single question for anything that matters. And literally titled, had the fucking gall, bro. Had the fucking balls, PBD. Pretty big douchebag. right? To literally title this video, Netanyahu admits genocide. Like, you need a fucking big set of fucking cojones on you to title the video that after dodging it so fucking blatantly, right? All right, well, that was beautiful. We might have to go back into that after a little bit. If we get kind of too sick of what's going on in this, we might have to dive back into that comment section, because that fucking comment section is gold. Is fucking gold. I might have to do a separate video just on that comment section. Holy shit. Uh-oh. What happened, Rux? Oh, no, Rux. Stay strong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. We're here with you. I know that doesn't help, but, you know, you're not alone. You're not alone. All right, let's continue on with this. That was wonderful to see that comment section. And again, that was just the first, 30 comments? We had not even 35, 40 comments that we read there. That's fucking awesome. Here we go.
You can't defend yourself. Then no democracy is safe. In America.
Hold on, Alyosha, what do you got for me, buddy? Boston Brian Live, Democrat wins to breaking. In a stunning moment, Republican Barry Moore was just asked at his town hall who pays for Donald Trump's tariffs. Moore was left speechless after being called out. This is amazing. Seems like more and more of that is going on. And it's funny because, if you don't know, our friend of the show, good friend, Major Richard Ojeda, is running for North Carolina's 9th Congressional District down there in old North Carolina. And the gentleman that he's running against is the one that actually was telling all his other Republican colleagues not to do town halls, like not to, be present and answer to their constituents and stuff. And it seems like they probably should have taken his advice, because it doesn't seem to be going well for these Republicans at the town halls. I'm not sure if Alyosha, that is the video that I saw, because I have seen a few of them over the last couple of weeks of Republicans trying to do town halls and it just not going very well for them. There was one where an older gentleman was getting up and gave the guy the fucking, the who, what, and where with all. There was another one where I forget what the gentleman's name was on stage, but it didn't end up going well when he was kind of asked similar questions. So thank you. I appreciate you, Alyosha, for bringing that up. And anybody want to check that out, there are definitely various amounts of clips going around the old interwebs where you can check out just how these Republican politicians and people that are trying to be representatives are being treated in their own counties, in their own districts, by their own representatives, by their own constituents, right? So I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, guys. And I appreciate anybody that's contributed so far to the show.
Isn't safe. So I think that's come out. There is extraordinary vilification, extraordinary lies leveled at Israel. And they're meant to prevent us from exercising our legitimate right of self-defense. They won't succeed.
So if we talk about the legitimate right for you to defend yourself, you'll see the numbers. I'm a business guy. I'll see how this war has cost you roughly $120 to $130 billion, whether it's Hamas, Gaza, Iran, roughly $120 to $130 billion, reports that we read. Your debt to GDP ratio went from 60% to 75%. So some of the Americans, they're sitting there saying, yeah, we give you guys roughly $3.8 billion. For the war, America's given roughly $30 billion, which most of it was in West.
PB is Epstein in disguise. Where did that go? Hold on. PB is Epstein in disguise. Fucking shit. You know what? Honestly, the way things have been going in this world lately, I probably wouldn't even blink an eye at that. If he peeled off that face like it was, like he was John Travolta in Face Off with fucking Nick Cage, I'm not even sure I'd be shocked at this moment in time.
Happens. But if you're going from 60 to 75%, how much longer can your economy or even the state?
Can you imagine? Can we just discuss this for a second? Can you fucking imagine having Benjamin Netanyahu sitting face to face with you, or, on camera, whatever the fuck they're doing this via Zoom, whatever the fuck, Skype, whatever. Imagine having the opportunity to fucking sit down and viciously question a war criminal. And you're talking about his fucking GDP to debt ratio and, how much he's spent so far killing an entire population or attempting to kill an entire population. Like, does that not seem just right off the bat something fucking like maybe we should, I don't know, maybe there's more important things we could question him about. Maybe there's more relevant things right now on the table than, the fucking GDP and how much debt he's accrued and how much it's very relevant to talk about the United States support for Israel and the continued support for Israel. I find that extremely relevant, but I think there's more things that we could talk about, especially when you got this fucking war criminal sitting face to face with you than the GDP and the debt ratio of fucking Israel. I mean, I think it goes to show just how seriously or unseriously he took this fucking interview.
Be able to afford the war.
Patrick, I'm going to have some good news for you.
Please.
I led as first as finance minister and then as prime minister a free market revolution in Israel, and Israel became a wealthy country because of we unleashed the.
Hold on. My apologies. Thank God. The video skipped for some reason, and it made me look at the other screen, and thank God I did because it wasn't on the screen for you guys to see. My apologies. Let me go back just a second. All right, here we go.
And Israel became a wealthy country because of we unleashed the genius in our population and innovators.
So wealthy, in fact, that he was actually able to financially support Hamas in order to keep the West Bank separated from Gaza. Remember that? Remember when you were making so much money, hand over fist, right? Probably, by corrupt means also. Remember you so much that you were able to financially support the people that, actively attacked you on October 7th, the attack that you guys knew about roughly a year in advance, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering the reports correctly.
Just incredible capacity to produce products and services that service all mankind in medicine and communications. That cell phone that you're probably holding half of it is probably made in Israel. And the cherry tomatoes that you eat, they were made in Israel and so on. And medicine
the cherry tomatoes were made in Israel, were they? Were they? Okay.
Made in Israel. So Israel became a powerhouse, a juggernaut of innovation and enterprise. And it strengthened our economy. We went from $17,000 per capita to about $60,000 in a very short time. It's a tremendous success story. Now, here's the truth. This is something I just saw, a slide. I wish I had it here. Too bad.
It's too bad. It's too bad you don't have the facts and figures of your fucking of the amount of money that you've made when you're literally supposed to be answering questions about the fucking genocide you're engaged in. Again, this is ridiculous that he's got 41 minutes. I'm sure Patrick Bet-David is very aware that he doesn't have a ton of time with Netanyahu. I'm sure he's not going to sit here for a 2-hour fucking podcast like Trump did with Rogan, right? So the questions that you ask are very, very fucking important. The ones that you actually get in there with the short time that you have are very, very fucking important and go a long way in showing just what side of this fight you're on, right? And if you're going to continue to allow him the time to fucking talk about anything other than the war crimes that he's engaged in, then you're just letting this man run cover. You're just giving him the opportunity to run his fucking propagandistic bullshit at your expense, using your fucking platform.
Those investments in R&D that a country receives from foreign sources. So number one is the United States, like huge. Number two, in absolute terms, now as we speak today, is Israel, tiny Israel. The next country is Germany. It's 2/3 of Israel, and the rest of the Western countries fall further and further behind. So our economy is actually doing quite well, I should say. And it's amazing. And you're right to ask it. But there was an economic miracle in Israel, which I'm very proud to have led. And we just have this resilient.
How could your economy not be doing well? Again, with the amount of support and financial assistance the United States provides, with the amount of weaponry we provide, you don't have to spend it yourself, right? What the fuck? It's just sitting right there for you guys. I'm sure you got a great fucking deal on it now that you and your buddy Trump is in there. So, God, of course you get the opportunity to fucking just stack money.
Both in our economy, but also in our fighting spirit. We've gone through the Holocaust, and I'm committed, as are my people, to prevent a second Holocaust that Iran was planning.
So why are you actively engaged in perpetrating what can only be called, directly, definitionally, the attempted genocide of a people, the act of ethnic cleansing of an entire fucking population? It's fucking crazy to me. It really is, especially as somebody that cares so passionately or is so passionate about, history and World War II in particular, specifically, right? It blows my fucking mind. It's so hard for me to wrap my head around, studying the plight of the people and what they suffered, and how they suffered and what they were fucking subjected to. And how we could be sitting here talking about people doing that exact same thing or damn near it to another population, right? And it's crazy to me. Hey, do you guys know where the first, I think it's the first three, do you guys know where the first three prime ministers of Israel were born? All right, do you guys know in the chat? Where were the first three prime ministers of Israel born? I'll give you a second. And if you're going to say Israel, I'll give you a hint. That's wrong. That ain't right. Nope, not the USA. You're close. You're close. I think the fourth prime minister of Israel was the first ever prime minister to be not from an Eastern European country. So I believe the first one was born in Poland, and I believe the next two were from Ukraine. So the first prime minister of Israel was born in Poland. The next prime minister was born in Ukraine. The next prime minister was born in Ukraine. The next prime minister was the first Israeli settler, and it says he was born in Palestine. In occupied Palestine, right? So let's not get some of this shit twisted here. Because I'm sure it's probably news to some people to hear that, you mean the first few Israeli prime ministers, they weren't from Israel? Strange.
And that's what we've been doing in this war. It's taken this long because we had to break this noose of death that Iran was going to put on us in their plans to conquer the Middle East, in their plans to then proceed to Europe, and in their plans to then proceed to America. They say death to America.
And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that Benjamin Netanyahu isn't Benjamin Netanyahu's real name. I don't believe that was his born name. Hold on. Let me just make sure I'm correct on that, because if I'm mistaken, I apologize and I shall correct myself. But I'm pretty sure Benjamin Netanyahu's family surname was originally Milakovsky, which was his father's Hebraised to Netanyahu upon immigrating to mandatory Palestine. The name Netanyahu means God has given in Hebrew. Right here. So Benjamin Netanyahu's family surname was originally Milakovsky. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, which was Hebraised, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that as well, to Netanyahu upon immigrating to mandatory Palestine. All right. So a little background on him as well. Their
way. And boy, did we stand in their way.
So I guess the question to kind of move on from this one, do you see yourself, if you're saying the war is not going on for too long, if this thing takes a couple more years, do you see yourself?
Oh, and I'm glad to see, too, that I wasn't the only one that noticed. I think it might have even been the first question that he asked Netanyahu. Wasn't even a real question, was the most jumbled, garbled mess of a question. I think it was when he asked him, something along the lines of, why is it taking so long? But the way he asked the question was so mumbled and jumbled and garbled, and he was trying to kind of pussyfoot around it so much that it didn't even end up being a real question, didn't even make any sense. And I wasn't the only one that noticed. I noticed Emma on the Majority Report, the guys on the Vanguard. I think there was a few people that were like, what the fuck does that mean? What are you even talking about? You can tell he was trying to get what sounded like difficult questions, what sounded like pressing questions in his mind across, but he was so afraid to even do that much that he ended up kind of pussyfooting around the questions and changing the wording as he asked it. And it messed it all up, and he screwed himself royally, as you can tell by his comment section.
Need to the American taxpayers and need more money and support, or are you able to sustain the expenditure that you have right now?
Yeah, I think we've organized that, and we're perfect.
The expenditure? Is expenditure a word? I thought it was expenditures. I mean, I know in order to run a pyramid scheme, you got to have at least two brain cells to rub together, right? But am I the idiot here? Is that a word?
And support, or are you able to sustain the expenditure that you have right now?
The expenditure. The expenditure. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think we've organized that, and we're perfectly able to do that. I want you to know one other thing. I think Israel is different from your other allies. We spend an inordinate amount of our GDP, inordinate amount, to defend ourselves. I think one of your senators said something very, very true. He said, if we had in Israel, next to in Afghanistan, or if we had another Israel there, we wouldn't have spent $1 trillion or trillions of dollars. Israel is receiving and is very grateful for the American.
What? I don't know. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? If we had an Israel next to Afghanistan, we wouldn't have spent $1 trillion? Why? What?
Israel there. We wouldn't have spent $1 trillion or trillions of dollars. Israel is receiving and is very grateful for the American military assistance at about $3.8 billion a year.
Wait a minute. So we're giving you military assistance, but for some reason we think if we had more Israels throughout the planet, that would be a benefit to the United States. You don't even fucking benefit us now, motherfucker. What is the benefit? What is the benefit of having Israel as an ally right now? What does it give the United States? What has it brought us other than fucking loss of weaponry, a shitload of money spent over there, a shitload of fucking consternation throughout the fucking Middle East? What is it getting? What the fuck are we getting as American citizens for our continued support this government loves to show for Israel? What is it that we're getting? Because it seems to me like we're getting death and destruction, and then it seems to me like we're getting the blood on our hands as well because of our continued support, because of our continued, sending weapons over. The continued fucking help and assistance that we give Israel in helping them commit this genocide and helping them ethnically cleanse an entire population and starve an entire population. So the only thing that I see that we're getting from being allies with fucking Israel is blood on our hands. That's all I see that we're getting. Other than that, it's a fucking headache, a pain in the ass. And it's just causing more death and destruction all over the fucking region.
And 80% of it is spent in the United States. That's the deal. So it helps American.
Great. Keep your fucking money. We don't want your blood money. We don't fucking want it. You can keep it. And you can stick it straight up your fucking ass, too. Hold on. Let me wipe my ass with it, and then I'll stick it right in your goddamn mouth, you son of a bitch.
Industries. But we also produce these incredible weapons that we share with the United States.
Yeah.
We produce intel that is invaluable for the United States. You're familiar with the Five Eyes, Patrick? You know what that is? All these countries that are...
fucking Five Eyes. Meanwhile, Israel's fighting like they got their fucking eyes closed. It's pretty ironic as he's talking about the Five Eyes and he's fucking slaughtering people and lobbing fucking missiles and bombs and shit into fucking populated areas, double tapping hospitals like they got their fucking eyes closed. Oops, sorry, we didn't mean to. We thought there was a camera there. Yeah, fuck you. You gonna send over a fucking a $2 million bomb or a fucking $1 million bomb to take out a camera and we're supposed to buy that? Get the fuck out of here.
Part of the American intelligence system. Well, there's a sixth eye, Israel. It's a very powerful eye, and we share our intel with the American intelligence services, and that's why the bond is so strong. It's not only a bond of values of our common Judeo-Christian civilization, and it is really a war of civilization against the barbarians that we're fighting, but it's also
the barbarians that we're fighting. A war of civilization against the barbarians that we're fighting. Said like a true fucking war criminal. Said like a true genocidal freak. Right? That's no different than Donald Trump using the, fucking the immigrants are just vermin and rats coming into our country, poisoning the blood of our people. No different. No different. This is Mein Kampf rewritten by Benjamin Netanyahu. That's all this is. That's all this fucking bullshit is. Barbarians. A war of fucking humanity. Right? What did Adolf Hitler call the war in the East? Right? A war of annihilation. A war between races. A war between people on a higher level and people on the fucking floor because they're scum. They are not equal. They are Slavs. They are Bolsheviks. Right? When Hitler was saying it, they are Jews. They are not like us. They are others. They are Untermenschen. And you hear the same fucking rhetoric coming from this asshole without without pushback from this dickhead on the right side of your screen. As we're actively seeing him fucking starve this population purposefully, as we actively see them lure people into a missile strike only to then hit that same site again, knowing that it is covered with fucking innocent civilians and aid workers and fucking rescue workers. That's fucking evil shit. That is evil. You know, remember this saying, the banality of evil, right? Well, you're looking at it right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what this motherfucker is.
It's also a bond of utility, of great success. That partnership is very, very strong. I know it's challenged all the time, but it's very, very strong. And you should talk to some of the people in the higher places in the Pentagon. I wish you could
strong
talk
they wouldn't even give Israel their own eye. Didn't he just call it the five eyes? He said it was the sixth eye, and that's Israel. Yeah, you're so helpful. You don't even warrant your own eye.
the people who share our intelligence or the weapon systems that we share.
And again, that's another thing that we were fucking told. That's another fucking thing that we were told too. As he's fucking bragging about the IDF and Israel's military capabilities and, you know, them being one of the, you know, the strongest forces on the planet. Well, then guess what, motherfucker? How come you can't manage to come up with a plan on how to combat and go in and actually get the members of Hamas that were responsible for perpetrating the atrocities on 7 October? Again, without fucking killing an entire population, without destroying an entire fucking region. Like, wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't if you were bragging about your fucking military and how, technologically savvy and advanced they were and how their techniques were so fucking sought after and looked after that, militaries all over the world look to us for their fucking strategy and shit. Well, guess fucking what? If that's what the fuck we're going to be looking at, if that's what the fucking militaries are going to be copying, fucking look somewhere else. I don't want to be copying that shit. That was fucking horrendous. And it still continues to be horrendous and gets worse every single fucking day. This fucking, the ultimate fighting force can't find a way to go in and find people that was shooting fucking rockets out of pipes, out of fucking plumbing. You can't go in there and find a more fucking humane way of quote, defending your territory against people that you say are more than willing to attack it. Like, that's what I don't fucking get. That's what I don't fucking get. You telling me there's no better way? Nothing. There's nothing that the special forces or the IDF or anybody that's involved in fucking Israeli military services could have come up with a better plan. Rather than just fucking bomb it all, send them to the south. Okay, we'll bomb the north. Okay, send them to the north. We're going to bomb the south. Okay, all right, now but just bomb it all. Nope, we're going to give out fucking coordinates. We're going to give out you grids. Here's a piece of paper with a grid on it, and here's the safe grid, right? We're going to bomb here. Here's the safe grid. Oh, sorry, we ended up bombing the safe grid. I know we told you guys that this square here was going to be safe, but oops, sorry. Motherfuckers. Sorry, but this gets me fucking fired up every single fucking time, and it will never not get me fired up.
That you'll
if this motherfucker is allowed to sit here on this fucking piece of shit show without any fucking pushback, without any fucking problems, without PBD having a single problem with the response that he's given thus far in 16 minutes, roughly halfway through this fucking interview, pisses me the fuck off.
They appreciate, as we appreciate enormously what America gives to us. And they
I bet you do. Why wouldn't you? It's allowed you to continue fucking committing war crimes. Hell, we're actively engaged in it. We're active participants in it. And we can't say that we aren't. Our tax dollars are going directly to Israel to continue funding this ongoing fucking starvation, the ongoing genocide, the ongoing ethnic cleansing. And everybody's like, well, if it was fucking, if they really wanted to kill all the Palestinians, if they really wanted to genocide them, they would have done it. No, fuck you. What do you think? They're fucking stupid? Yes, they are. But guess what? They know that this is 2025, right? And they know that there's a line in the fucking sand. Unfortunately, that line in the sand isn't as fucking progressed as we need it to be as a society, as civilized fucking human beings. Considering we're still fucking watching this on the television every single day, considering there aren't, more forceful actions being taken to stop this fucking shit from happening. But you can tell that we're active participants in this, right? Active fucking participants in this ongoing genocide. And it's fucking a shame. And it's fucking a shame. And everybody's like, if they really wanted to commit a genocide, they would have killed them all. What do you think they're doing? It is 2025. They can only do so much. They know, just like if they actually went in and started fucking committing a genocide the way they want to fucking commit a genocide and actually dropping those 2,000-pound bombs night after night, day after day on any part of the city like they actually want to fucking do, so they can destroy the city faster, so they can destroy the area faster, so they can get these people out of the area faster. That's exactly what they'd want to do. But they know the international fucking community would not fucking have it, right? So they know that there's a fucking fine line that they have to walk between the international outrage and what they can get away with. So don't give me this, if they really wanted to, they would have just no. They've gotten away with a lot fucking more doing it this way than they would have if they just started doing an all-out fucking, air raids every single day. Then the international community, God willing, hopefully, would step up in that situation and put a fucking end to it. But now that they're slow rolling, now that they're doing this fucking frog in the boiling water aspect, where it just slowly continues to get worse and worse and worse and worse, that's when it starts to get like this, where now we're watching an entire fucking population starve to death. Now we're seeing an entire fucking area of the Middle East just absolutely destroyed. Now we're hearing the president of the United States talking about moving them into the desert, building a fucking casino, Trump Plaza, Gaza. And this is why. This is why. Because we've been slow-rolled. Because we've been lied to. Because we've been propagandized. Because we were propagandized about October 7th in general, which led to people allowing Israel more fucking leash, more leeway to commit the crimes that they've been committing ever since. And before. Let's not fucking forget. Again, this isn't something that started October 7th. Let's not fucking forget.
What Israel gives to America. Somebody said to me, you're the one fighting ally we have. You don't ask us to put boots on the ground. You don't ask us to fight your wars. Although President Trump did a great thing by.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure that's the exact fucking thing verbatim that Volodymyr Zelensky has been saying since the onset of the fucking full-scale invasion in February 2022. Is we don't want your soldiers. We don't want your fucking sons and daughters to come die in Ukraine. What we need are the weapons. What we need is the ammunition. What we need is the fucking vehicles and the funds to fight this war ourselves. And we are more than willing, more than happy, and more than fucking ready to do so. So don't give me this bullshit that Israel's, the best ally that we got. A, it's the worst ally that we have. Gives us fucking absolutely nothing in return. No benefit whatsoever. And it leads to the outright and total control of our politicians by fucking groups like AIPAC. Which, if you haven't done your homework on AIPAC, I very much fucking advise you to start doing your fucking homework on AIPAC. And you'll be fucking shocked to see the amount of control that they actually have over politicians. Right? You know those things when you come out and you're like, man, I can't believe that politician said that. That really kind of goes against everything that I've heard them say before. Or, man, that's weird. Why do you say that? Guess what? Go back and look at maybe where they're getting funds from behind closed doors, and it might fucking enlighten you. It might open up your eyes as to why something might have been said, or, views may have been taken, or policies or laws may have been signed off on by that person.
Joining in that precise strike that he did. Didn't just start World War III. It didn't bring thousands of American troops on the ground in Iran, but it did. It was a magnificent addition to our brave soldiers. So
what did it do? What did it do? If it really took out Iran's nuclear fucking capabilities, like Donald Trump suggests and Netanyahu suggested it did, why wouldn't he be touting that? I didn't hear him just say, hey, the strikes on Iran, it was so great. They took out the entirety of Iran's capabilities for building nuclear weapons. I didn't hear him talking that shit. What happened? You don't seem so fucking confident and cocky anymore. Was it only because it only set it back a couple months? When in reality, as we reported on that show, on this show, that the plan used to strike those nuclear facilities was a fucking 10-year-old plan. Something that Netanyahu has been dying to get the United States to engage in for fucking some time now. We also played the clips. We can go back to 20, 25 years of Netanyahu standing up in front of the fucking U.S. government telling us, oh, fucking we're a minute and a half away from nuclear war. Oh, shit, we're 2 minutes away from nuclear war. Oh, apparently we're 6 months away from them having nukes and we're all fucked. And that went on for years and years and years and years until he finally had fucking Donald Trump in his crosshairs. He finally had somebody in a position of power, dumb enough, corrupt enough, and fucking egotistical enough to believe this man's bullshit and to think that this sort of strike makes him seem like a big, strong, tough, fucking authoritarian type leader. When it just fucking goes to show the complete opposite, that he's weak, he's feckless, he's fucking being run around and led by the nose by Benjamin Netanyahu, who has led Donald Trump into every fucking conflict that, again, Netanyahu wants to keep engaged in so he can continue his reign, because he knows as soon as the fucking peace comes, his time is over and he will face accountability for his fucking criminal actions throughout the years as Prime Minister of fucking Israel.
I have to tell you, I think it's a partnership that is going to go on for a long, long time. As far as I'm concerned, for all time.
Prime Minister, what do you say to the critics who say, Israel owns America, Israel is who makes America do things they want him to do, whether it's through AIPAC, whether it's through, funding, money. You'll typically hear this. This has been overly said the last couple of years in a major way. And there's a community of Americans that at this point believe that
he's such a fucking pussy, dude. He is such a pussy. Imagine not being able to just be like, hey, throughout my time looking at United States politics, I've noticed a worrying trend of not only AIPAC's contributions behind the scenes to both sides of the political aisle, but also how that fucking money has an effect on what those politicians do, what they say, and the laws that they pass or enact. And I'm wondering what you have to say about that. Would that be very fucking hard? As somebody who's supposed to be a reputable person, having a reputable podcast, and of course I'm being facetious here. But here he's always going to pass it. Well, other people are saying, and it's been said by, people that aren't very bright. What do you say to these stupid people? Like, he's such a little fucking bitch.
They make a phone call to America.
Sorry, and I apologize. Somebody actually left a comment on one of these videos the other day, like, oh, I haven't listened in a while because you swear too much. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And here I am just letting them fly here. Sorry if that was my apologies. I think it was I forget, but my apologies. I just remember that. That's my fault. My bad.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely not. I think it's full of hokum. First of all, do you know President Trump? I mean, sort of. I've known him for many years.
Sure.
Okay. You don't make him do anything. He does what he thinks is in America's interest, and he's very forceful about it. When he sees allies who don't.
No. That's the whole part, though. That's what people have learned over the years, and it's been very apparent for some time, which is why now you see people like Zelensky, you see other world leaders coming to the White House, again, all doing the same thing, trying to fucking, curry favor with Trump to try to fucking smooth him over, really, so they don't end up getting yelled at. Again, like Volodymyr Zelensky was in the Oval Office. So it's not hard to see how you get one over on Donald Trump. You just try to make it look like it makes him look like a strong man, or it's going to make him look, good in the eyes of the media, or all you got to do is lie to him somehow and make it seem like it's going to benefit him in some way, shape, or form. And it really isn't that difficult to get Donald Trump to do anything. But can you see the way that he's trying to, again, obfuscate from the question? The problem isn't with AIPAC's control of Donald Trump. The problem isn't with AIPAC's control necessarily of the President of the United States. It's with their control of the people in the House and the fucking Senate, right? And the representatives in our country, right? That's the problem. When you have a multitude of representatives on both sides of the political aisle receiving millions and millions of dollars behind closed doors from AIPAC in order to sway their political decisions, in order to sway the laws, again, that they pass or don't pass, or who gets aid and doesn't get aid, or how much that aid is, that's when we have a fucking problem, right? That's when this starts becoming an issue. Oh, thank you, moms. I appreciate that. My apologies. I'm sorry. I just did it again, too. I'm just terrible at it. It's just me, guys. It's just me. When I get angry, when I get heated, it's just me. I apologize. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I don't know what else I can say. It's just me. Sorry.
Who don't step up to the plate. You know, he's not shy about saying it. And we have a different relationship altogether. It's not one of coercion or manipulation. It's one of common interests and common values. And I think that people understand that, because Israel is different. It really is. We know that we have to fight for ourselves, and we do. But when we fight for ourselves, we fight for you too, because we fight Iran. Iran tried to murder President Trump not once but twice. Iran killed and wounded.
You know what else we would? Sorry, I wasn't. I'll scroll back just for a second, but I'm trying to find in the background. I know we discussed this on the show before. Oh, thank you, Robin. thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I know we talked about this before, and I was asking you guys if you have a reputable site, right, that accurately depicts how much each politician receives from AIPAC. Do you guys have anything, you guys in the chat, I'm asking, a reputable site that you guys use for that? Because I know this one is one that we've looked at before, but again, I'm always worried about, making sure that I'm reporting the accurate amounts and, what sites it's being reported to. So let me see if I can show this on the screen just for a second here. Take this off. Take that off. So this is American Israel Public Affairs Committee. This is Stand Strong PAC. Let's see here. Typed in AIPAC. I was looking for total contributions, but hey, let me see in the chat, because you guys are usually pretty good at it. Do you guys have a site that you guys use? Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat? Emotes? No. Just kind of, so I'm just asking you guys. I haven't researched this. No problem. Also, don't forget AIPAC has linked Super PAC called, called United Democracy Project that runs ads and other independent spending for and against candidates. Oh, Mel just sent me, one second. Mel just sent me something here. Mel somehow is babysitting a 4-month-old baby, modding, also doing the chat and sending me articles at the same time. So a big round of applause for Mel, please, because that's amazing. All right, so here it is. I'm going to throw this on the screen. All right, and thank you, Right Said Rob, too. I appreciate that for bringing that up. All right, so this is Track AIPAC. Let's take a look at this. Congress Tracker, Israel First candidates, our endorsed candidates, about AIPAC. Does your representative support genocide? Follow the money. Okay, let's go to the Congress Tracker. And I just want to show you the types of money that we're talking about here. All right, so this is Israel Lobby Group's acronyms. Figures listed on this page reflect federal career totals from all pro-Israel PACs, donations, direct contributions to campaign accounts, expenditures, independent expenditures, ad spending by Israel Lobby Groups. All right, seems like it goes by state. So let's just check this out. Let's just take a look at this. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, see if that makes it a little bit easier for you guys to see. All right, now just look at the amounts that we're talking about here, right? And this is Alabama, right? Not huge money state. Tommy Tuberville, lobby total $47,000. AIPAC and RJC. Lobby total $106,000 from AIPAC for Katie Britt. Remember Katie Britt, the one that did the response to the Joe Biden's State of the Union? Which I don't like. It's very sad. It's very, yes, I like it. I don't like it, but I do like it. No, that one. So you got Barry Moore, $30,000 AIPAC, $63,000 Shomari Figures, AIPAC and DMFI. Mike Rogers, $845,000. Am I in the way of that? No, I'm not. You can see it just above my head here. $845,000 $445,000, ladies and gentlemen, to Mike Rogers in fucking Alabama. All right, and you tell me, thank you, Mel, I got you, thank you. And you tell me why it's worth it for AIPAC to spend $846,000 on a single fucking person in Alabama. Right? And let's continue down the list. Again, I'm just as an example, Robert Adderholt, whoever the fuck that is, I don't know, but he's gotten 137 grand from AIPAC. Dale Strong, who the fuck that be? Don't know, but he's gotten $44,000 from AIPAC. Who's Gary Palmer? Don't know. Looks like a sleazeball. Gotten almost 100 grand from AIPAC and RJC. Terry Sewell. Don't know her, but she's gotten over 100 grand from AIPAC. Alaska. Holy fucking shit in Alaska. Lisa Murkowski. $436,000 from groups like AIPAC, RJC, and NORPAC. $426,000 for Dan Sullivan. Good Irish boy in Alaska getting fucking almost $500,000 from AIPAC, RJC, and NORPAC. Nick Bekic clearly needs to step up his game as far as RJC is concerned. Let's see here. Mark Kelly, $505,000 from AIPAC and J Street. Ruben Gallego, $379,000. Eli Crane, Yasmin Ansari, Greg Stanton, Andy Biggs, Juan Kiskamani, Abby Hamada, Paul Gosar, 30 grand. Tom Cotton, over $1 million here. Here's our first $1 million winner that I've seen. Tom Cotton, $1 million. Oh, he's got almost $1 million in just expenditures. What the fuck? Holy shit. How is that possible? How do you have $233,000 in donations and $960,000 in fucking expenditures? Does that make I'm no finance guy, so maybe that does make sense on some level, but to me that makes no sense in my head. Steph, this is trackapac.com if I'm not mistaken. It's just trackapac.com/Congress if you want to get right to the Congress tracker here. But I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, and this is over time. This isn't like from 1 year, right? But even that, if you've only received $237,000 in total donations, like that's the shit that's supposed to be keeping you running, right? Your donations keep you going, and that helps you. How the fuck are you going to spend $1 million on expenditures and then keep that going? That's wild to me. 21,000, 65,000, 142,000, 53,000. Here's from California. And again, it's not just fucking Republicans. Alex Padilla, 104,000. Adam Schiff, $6 million. $6 million from AIPAC for Adam Schiff. And you're going to tell me that somehow that money doesn't sway somehow his beliefs, doesn't sway somehow the laws that are written or what bills are passed that may be beneficial to Israel? 6 million fucking, over 6 million, 6.234 milli. That's got to be the most, right? That's got to be the most. Democrat, 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 Democrat. Democrat, 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 Democrat. Ro Khanna, $142,000. Kevin Mullen, Democrat, $743,000. Eric Swalwell, $184,000. I just want to go down the list now and see if anybody's got more than 6 million. That's fucking outrageous. Jimmy Gomez, Democrat, $2.69 million. Ted Lieu, $747,000. I bet some of these names are people where you're like, hey, I kind of like him. That's strange. See, who else? 69,000. Juan Vargas, 325. Colorado, couple up there, 500,000. But I don't see anywhere near that 6 million mark. That's crazy. Delaware, nope. Rick Scott, 657,000. Randy Fine, 458,000. Maxwell Frost, this representative rejects AIPAC and champions a foreign policy based on human rights and international fucking law. Let's go, Maxwell fucking Frost, huh? That's what it should fucking say next to every Democrat's name right there. Oh, sorry, I went in too much. Went in too hard. My apologies. Went in too hard on that one. Where'd he go? There he is. This is what it should say. Just to let everybody know, next to and underneath anybody that calls himself a progressive or a liberal or a fucking Democrat or whatever, this is what it should fucking say. This representative rejects AIPAC and champions a foreign policy based on human rights and international motherfucking law. How about them apples? You like fucking apples? I got a number. How about them apples? All right, what the fuck? That's what it should say. I haven't seen that on anybody else's, unless I missed it and I just kind of scrolled past it, but I haven't seen that on anybody else's. But again, I'm just going to fly down. Rick Scott, I must have gone back up again. Florida, Georgia. Oh, sorry. Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia. Let's see here. Oh, hold on. John Ossoff. $783,000. Raphael Warnock, almost $1 million. Craziness. Marjorie Taylor Greene. This representative has not signaled for support for overturning Citizens United. We encourage this representative to continue improving the legislative record on Israel-Palestine issues. And it is surprising to see her landing somewhat on the right side of at least. Oh, here we go. Here's Delia Ramirez. This representative rejects AIPAC and champions foreign policy based on human rights and international law. 3rd District in Illinois. Dick Durbin, over $1 million. Here's another one. Looks like another one underneath me. Yep. Jesus Chuy Garcia. Illinois' 4th District. This representative rejects AIPAC and champions a foreign policy based on human rights and international law. Good for you, dude. Thank you so much. It's a shame that I don't see more of those in here, though. Oh, here we go. Andre Carson, Democrat, Indiana's 7th Congressional District. This representative rejects AIPAC and champions a foreign policy based on human rights and international law. Well, it looks like Adam Schiff got to be up there for the fucking lead in money taken, right? Because $6 million is just far and away, head and shoulders above anything that's been taken by anybody else that I've seen. Chris Van Hollen, remember Chris Van Hollen went down and saw Abrego Garcia? Holy shit! Here's another one. Here's one that's close. Sarah Elfreth. Who the fuck is Sarah Elfreth? Maryland's 3rd District. $4.831 million from AIPAC and DMFI. She's got donations of $611,000 and expenditures of $4.2 million. What? That's wild. So good on Chris Van Hollen. Let's see here. Elizabeth Warren, 298,000. Jim McGovern, come on, Jim boy. What the fuck, man? He's at the point where he's still at the stage where he encourages representatives to continue improving this legislative record on Israel-Palestine issues. Same thing with Elizabeth Warren, Ed Markey, but it looks like Ayanna Pressley is the only one that is track AIPAC approved, which means they haven't received any and, say that they won't take any. Alyssa Slotkin, that's why we've heard her come out and say the things that she said. Again, it just makes sense. It just makes sense when you're like, wow, why would fucking Alyssa Slotkin go on, Crystal Ball show and start fucking defending all this shit? And it's like, well, it's because in her lifetime she's received almost $1 million in donations from AIPAC and fucking people like that. Look at Jeffries. Look at Jeffries. Let's go. Was Minnesota. So we got another one here. Hold on, I'll put this back on the screen if I'm going to show you guys. So Ilhan Omar. Clearly, this hasn't been updated. But let's go here. Chuck Schumer, 1.7 million. Kristen Gillibrand, almost 1 million. Tom Suozzi, 341,000. Vasquez, Nadia Velasquez is the only one AIPAC approved here. Track AIPAC approved. New York 7th Congressional. Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries, taking almost $2 million from AIPAC, DMFI, and NORPAC. So between Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, over $3 million taken from, AIPAC, DMFI, and NORPAC. And that's, again, unfortunately, who we have to consider our representative leaders at this moment in time, unfortunately. And you wonder why, we're still funding a genocide, why we're still, allowing weapons to go to this fucking genocidal piece of shit. All right, let's continue. Just wanted to track that. Make sure you guys put that in your, save that. I'll copy and paste it, put it in the chat for you guys in case you want to throw that in your little journal, throw that in your little book. Yeah, I saw that AOC. Yep. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, AOC is track AIPAC approved, rejects AIPAC and champions foreign policy based on human and international law. Holy shit. Whoa. What? That can't be right. That's got to be a fucking mistake, bro. That's got to be a fucking mistake, bro. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Did you guys just fucking see that shit? Where'd he go? Wow. Oh, it must have been New York, right? Hold on. Holy, look at this. Bro. Stop. Why does he keep bringing me elsewhere? My apologies. Hold on. Let me go to New York. I'm just trying to zoom in on it for you guys. LMNO. It's got to be right here. It's got to be right here. There it is right there. Bro, $19.1 million? Fucking Columbo's impersonator somehow has managed to get almost $20 million from AIPAC, UDP, DMFI, NORPAC, JAC endorsed. Holy shit. How is that even remotely fucking possible? That's wild. This fucking Columbo looking ass motherfucker. Jesus. How do you even sign the checks? I don't know how he signed the fucking checks for the donations. Good Lord Almighty. I'm glad I looked at that. I just saw the IE spend $16 million. I was like, what? How do you spend $16 million? What the fuck is happening? How is that real? How is that real? How is that a real thing? How is that not a real thing? I mean, how is it? I don't even know. Oh, follow the money here? Okay. OpenSecrets.org. I see you. I'll put this in the chat as well. Copy. Paste. Here's another site. Another one here. Open Secrets. Let me see if I can share this tab instead. Follow the money. Politicians, elections, federal members of Congress, governors, state legislators. Ooh, so this is fucking everybody. This is everybody. Republican House leadership. So what do you do? Well, let's see. Jeffries here. Oh, I see what you got going on. Here. Kind of just gives you the whole rundown. First election, 2012. Next election, 24. Top industry, 2020 is retired, 4 million. American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Campaign committee fundraising. So you get to see it all. Raised $22 million, spent $20 million, cash on hand, $4.9 million. American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Oh, you can see everything from his individuals to his PACs, the top industries that supported him, total raised and average raised. All right, I see you. I see you. I appreciate that. That could be very helpful. That could be very helpful. And you can do that all the way to, like I said, you can do that all the way to, fucking judicial office holders, state legislators, statewide office holders, about your personal finances, presidential administrators, governors, members of Congress, the whole nine. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mel, for sending me that. And who was it? Rocks that put that in there. I thank you guys. Appreciate that. All right, but let's get back to this. I know we're kind of running out of time here, but let's get back to this genocidal freak. There we go.
Of Americans with their IEDs, explosive devices, in Iraq and Afghanistan. Iran killed 241 Marines in Beirut. They bomb your embassies. They burn American flags. They have mobs chanting, "Death to America, death to America." So when we fight Iran, we're not just fighting our war, we're fighting your war. But we are fighting that war here in the Middle East. And let me tell you what would happen.
We are fighting your war. Let's hear that one more time.
Iran killed 241 Marines in Beirut. They bomb your embassies. They burn American flags. They have mobs chanting, "Death to America, death to America." So when we fight Iran,
this motherfucker is really going all the way back to Beirut to try to stir up some sort of, I don't know, anger or fear or aggression or, fucking to justify the violence, to justify his acts, is really going back to Beirut to try to fucking stir up the emotions of the American people. That literally just Beirut, they killed 221 Marines, right? Horrendous. But again, to bring that up as a world leader, fucking years and years later, to stir up the emotions of a population in order to justify your criminal acts, in order to bring and sway the United States fucking president to join your genocidal and criminal fucking policies. I mean, PBD fucked up on this one. I can tell you that one.
we're not just fighting our war, we're fighting your war, but we are fighting that war here in the Middle East. And let me tell you what would happen. And as someone who had been in the Middle East as a child, I think you can appreciate this. It's not only we who are threatened by Iran, it's our Arab neighbors too. They know that Iran wants to conquer them, pillage their oil
and
fields.
Just as a reminder, just ladies and gentlemen, what he's talking about, Marines were in Beirut as a part of a multi-international peacekeeping force during the Lebanese Civil War, beginning in August 1982 to ensure safe withdrawal of the Palestine Liberation Organization. The mission became dangerous, culminating in devastating October 2023, 1983 truck bombing of the Marine barracks, which killed 241 service members, the deadliest day for the U.S. Marine Corps since the Battle of Iwo Jima. The bombing, a terrorist attack, led to a reevaluation of the mission and eventually withdrawal of U.S. forces by February 1984. And just to kind of put that into perspective, ladies and gentlemen, I was born November 25th, 1985. So again, Benjamin Netanyahu has to reach back, has to fucking dig so deep into his pockets that he brings up a date before I drew my fucking first breath in this universe to try to stir up the emotions, the anger, and the hatred against another subset of people, another set of people, right? That's crazy. Where is he fighting Iran again? Is he talking about proxies? Or is he talking about actually engaged in battle with Iran? Because I don't see the strikes on the Iranian nuclear facilities as being in like active war against the military of Iran. I don't see really you engaged in or talking about being engaged in anything but with proxies from these surrounding areas. Yeah, it's amazing how much you guys can stir up. It's amazing how many problems you guys can cause being such a fucking small country. It really is. It's remarkable how many war crimes you can commit being the most fucking advanced fighting force on the face of the planet, supposedly. And then this is the fucking policy and the plan that you come out with militarily. What a fucking joke that is. What an absolute disgrace militarily. This entire fucking, this entire mission, this entire war that you call it, that isn't a war, has been conducted fucking atrociously from the beginning, when there was absolutely no aid sent in with your troops to care for the fucking civilian population that was inevitably going to be displaced from the policies and the war that you were enacting, right? Typically, when you send in, your first set of troops, you will send in an aid convoy as part of that in order to take care of the people that are harmed and hurt and fucking injured and displaced, people that are hungry and starving, whether they're left with no homes or running water, right? You typically, a humane military would send in a force that would be, tasked with fucking taking care of the population in that area. But no, it was left up to some of the fucking IDF commanders themselves to give away their own fucking food because their own military thought nothing about such fucking actions. Thought nothing about the lives of the Palestinian people that were going to be displaced and harmed and hurt and killed and lose legs and arms and family members. Nothing. And that fucking inhumane activity has only fucking progressed, has only continued since then. So it is the proxies. I just want to kind of clarify what you were just talking about a minute ago. It is the proxies that you're talking about, which is a lot different than the actual fighting force of the country itself. I just want to fucking put that out there. Well, it's pretty easy when you consider how many fucking millions and millions of dollars and billions of dollars we're sending over as Americans, how many weapons we're sending over. And basically the only stopgap that we've put on this so far is when Joe Biden said that you couldn't drop 2,000-pound bombs anymore because even the United States military wouldn't drop them because of the inability to ensure the safety of the surrounding population, despite the target that you're trying to eliminate or destroy, right? So you cannot use bombs of that size in such heavily populated areas because inevitably a lot of fucking people are going to die. And that's the reason why we wouldn't even use them. And the little bit that Joe fucking Biden did to kind of hinder what, Israel's capabilities to slaughter an entire population. Except for this time, this badger is again attacking helpless and starving children. This badger, again, isn't fighting a lion, isn't fighting multiple lions, isn't fighting a tiger, isn't fighting a fucking hippo or some fucking dangerous animal. It's fighting a helpless and wounded baby anything. That's what it's fucking fighting. This isn't a fucking war of two nations. This isn't a war between two fucking militaries. This isn't even a fucking war. This is a brutal invasion, the brutal destruction of an entire area, of an entire population, in order to take over their area, in order to forcibly remove them from the area they've lived in for fucking thousands and thousands of years, in order to resettle it as your own. This has nothing to do with two fucking warring nations. This isn't a war between two fucking similar militaries with similar capabilities. So don't get it fucking twisted. Oh, sorry. Let me put this back on the fucking screen. My apologies. Oh, was I not showing that the whole time? I'm sorry. I'm so fucking... This motherfucker's got me so flustered. I don't know what I'm showing here. All right, let's go. My apologies.
Points, to the points of vulnerability of the enemy. And you see these things, I watch NGO Wild when my wife lets me because she likes to watch cooking shows, okay?
This guy is literally going to sit here and talk about fucking Nat Geo and cooking shows as he's literally cooking human beings, as his fucking military force is currently cooking babies and women day after day, sniping them in the face, double tapping them with fucking missiles, striking hospitals, killing journalists, killing civilians. And this we're talking about fucking Nat Geo and cooking shows, motherfucker. You know, PBD, I never once in my life had any respect for you, Doug. Ever. Not ever. Considering the fucking fraudulent way in which you fucking, made your money to begin with. But we got a real problem, dude. We got a real fucking problem now. And fucking Lord help you. Lord fucking help you if we ever end up face to face with a couple microphones in front of us.
So late at night, after we have this argument, we settle on some compromise. And on Nat Geo Wild, I see these films of this badger, this tiny creature, it's about this big, taking on a lion, and the lion runs away. So Israel is the badger of the international scene. It has the fortitude, the will.
Yeah, you know what? Hold on, guys. Hold on. You guys want to see this? Let's see. I'll show you these lions. You guys want to see some of the lions? Here we go. Here's a lion. Here's one of the lions. You guys want to see lions? I'll show you lions. Yeah, there's a lion right there. There's a lion. You see the lions they're fighting, people? You see these fucking lions that they're fighting? Hold on. Here's another one. Yep, there's more lions that they're fighting. Look at the lions that look at these. Look at the lions. Look at them. They must be fucking tigers. Vicious. Oh, look at the vicious fucking tigers, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the vicious fucking tigers that they are fighting now. I mean, geez, how could they fight such tigers? How could they fight such vicious fucking people? Hold on. Oh, no, more. Hold on. Here we go. Here's more lions and tigers for you folks. Here's more lions and tigers for you. There you go. There you go. There's the lions and tigers that Israel is now engaged in as the fighting badger. They want you to believe. That right there is a picture of the fucking fighting force that Israel is now behind the destruction of. Just to let everybody know. Just in case anybody needed to fucking actually see the lions that they were fighting. You know, this fucking all fucking knowing, all powerful enemy that can't be stopped, and it's literally only the badger that could fucking possibly think of taking on a pack of lions like this, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, here's this fucking pack of lions. Here you go. Here's your pack of lions. Here's your pack of fucking lions.
To fight our enemies because of our history, because for so long we didn't have a state, we didn't have an army, we didn't have the ability to defend ourselves.
Oh, you didn't. You're right. But Palestine did. The Palestinians did. So he just said it there. He just fucking said it there. I mean, if that doesn't give the fucking ball game away, I don't know what does. Here.
These films of this badger, this tiny creature, it's about this big, taking on a lion, and the lion runs away. So Israel is the badger of the international scene. It has the fortitude, the will to fight our enemies because of our history, because for so long we didn't have a state, we didn't have an army, we didn't have the ability to defend ourselves, which culminated in this crescendo.
No, you didn't. So again, how'd you get that state? Who gave you that state? Who was there before you were given that state? Seems like a simple question. Seems like you just kind of gave the game away there. You didn't always have it, but you were given it at some point in time, right? Against the will, right? Taking fucking homes of people against their will. That, remember that shit? That still happens?
Massacres that culminated in the worst massacre of them all, the Holocaust, in which a third of our people were annihilated. We have that in our bones, in our hearts, in our soul, and we fight. And
we have that in our bones, in our hearts, in our soul. One more, I just want to get that again, because the The fucking murderous irony is not lost on me, ladies and gentlemen. It is just not.
Massacres that culminated in the worst massacre of them all, the Holocaust, in which a third of our people were annihilated. We have that in our bones, in our hearts, in our soul, and we fight.
And we fight to what now? Eliminate another population. So out of from the history that you can draw from the stories that you've fucking probably experienced firsthand, depending on how old you are, but definitely from parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. Like, even knowing all of that and what was perpetrated upon the Jewish people, among other populations during World War II by the Nazis and others. Like, somehow that it doesn't resonate with you that you are actively engaged in a very, very, very historically similar policy, engaged in a very similar action right now. Like, how does that not resonate? I don't understand how you cannot see that. Maybe it's easier to see looking from the outside in, but it's something that has played with my mind so much, especially knowing the plight in what actually was perpetrated during World War II, during the Holocaust. The atrocities, the barbarity, and the inhumane nature in which people were treated. You would think you would take that into the future and pass that on to next generations and make sure you implore them, no matter what, not to treat people like that, not to let that happen, not to get so fucking angry or disillusioned with a population or with a group of people that it forces you or leads you down the road to committing such horrendous crimes and actions against those people. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it. It really is, which is again why we continue to, call this out, to study it, to listen to what Netanyahu's saying, to see what's going on with our eyes. And again, the similarities between the tactics and the rhetoric that Donald Trump uses and the tactics and the rhetoric that Benjamin Netanyahu uses are fucking basically 1-to-1. So listening to this jackass, as hard and as difficult as it is, can give us a good insight into how Donald Trump would answer questions or would react, or what he may or may not do in the future. Because he idolizes people like Netanyahu and Putin and fucking Kim Jong-un and Erdogan and the asshole from, the other Eastern European country there I can't fucking think of right now. People like that are just puppets to Vladimir Putin. But, they hold power in their own country. He thinks they hold an iron fist. They're people in their country with an iron fist and can do whatever they want. And they've been in power for so long that, the democracy doesn't even fucking have power anymore because of how long they've been in charge. But it gives us good insight, I believe. And that's why I think it's very important to continue to call out these assholes and continue to call out people like fucking Patrick Bet-David for having war criminals and genocidal madmen on their podcast without berating them, without questioning them fucking as sternly as possible.
That's I think President Trump would like to see more Israelis around the globe.
Yes, Viktor Orban, thank you.
Everybody who says, America first, I can respect that, but I don't think they want America alone. And if you can have allies that actually share your values and fight for them in various parts of the world.
Well, that's funny. You must not be hearing what the MAGA folks are saying, because when they say America first, that really doesn't mean America first and America only. They don't want to be engaged in foreign wars, as they say. They don't want to be helping anybody else. They don't fucking give a shit what's going on in lands that aren't the United States. It has nothing to do with us, according to them. Although they do agree with Donald Trump wanting to build a fucking giant dome over our country. Because of the threat, but apparently we don't have to get engaged and involved with anything else because of anyway. But what I'm saying is it doesn't make any sense as to what he's saying there, because if he actually listened to what Donald Trump's followers say, he'd realize that these motherfuckers don't want to help anybody. They don't want to be helping anybody.
Especially in the Middle East with Iran trying to take over the world. I think that's a valuable addition. So It'll take time for this to sink in, but it will sink in.
Yeah, the topic of America First, it's become a little bit more clear where people are being put in different groups, America First and America Only, and that debate's going on right now, which is a great debate. I actually like listening to both sides make
And
their argument.
honestly, this has been another split. So not only has like Jeffrey Epstein and that whole saga with Ghislaine Maxwell been an area of consternation, been an area of Splitsville for MAGA, but what's going on in Gaza, what Israel is perpetrating right now is another area where cracks have been forming inside of MAGA. And as strange as it is, there are some fucking bad players, some bad actors that do deserve, as difficult as it is, some sort of not praise, but at least some sort of credit for them coming out against Israel, coming out against Benjamin Netanyahu, for example. And just to kind of break this show up a little bit, so we're not sitting here looking at Netanyahu all the time, I want to give somebody flowers that you guys might be surprised that I'm giving them flowers, because we've talked a lot on this show, not of recent, but, not very long ago, about this person, where they have been taking a not only them but their colleague and the platform that they work for have been taking a really right-wing turn, right? A really pro-MAGA stance, talking to people like the likes of Tucker Carlson, like other morons, and really kind of blowing smoke up their ass. So I think you'll be surprised to hear that I really have to give nope, not this person, sorry, my apologies, I really have to give Anna Kasparian her flowers for the work that she's been doing, both online and on shows like Abby Phillips' show here on CNN, against people like Scott Jennings, relating to Israel and Gaza. So as shitty as I think she's been on pretty much every other topic, as it relates to Donald Trump, as it relates to trans issues, as it relates to Trump's authoritarian fascist takeover, I think she has been fantastic on the issue of the Palestinian plight of Gaza and what Israel has been perpetrating, right? Yeah, Jen can jank off, right? I have no flowers for Jenk. I've seen absolutely nothing to that would even in the slightest way redeem Jenk whatsoever. But I do have to give flowers, and I just want to, this is a good way to show you that I am not afraid to give people that I have criticized in the past their flowers, their credit for things that they do. Another good example would be Gavin Newsom, right? So I had absolutely no problem whatsoever calling Gavin Newsom out for A, what he was saying a few months ago, and B, for who he was talking to a few months ago, right? But that does not mean that I can't give him his flowers and give him his praise for the work that he's been doing against Donald Trump, with his whole social media campaign, mocking Donald Trump, getting Fox News to really fucking dig themselves a hole by criticizing Gavin Newsom for doing the exact same thing that Donald Trump does seriously, right? So he's been doing great work. Not only that, but fighting Donald Trump and the Republicans' effort to gerrymander and redistrict red states. The work that he's been doing here in California, and people in other states following suit as well. So basically, point is, I have no problem giving people flowers that I have once criticized if they do something that I feel like they deserve flowers for, right? So I am not above the level of saying, hey, this person deserves flowers, even though I've criticized them on other aspects before. And hopefully that just goes to show that I will tell the truth. I will show you right and wrong from wrong when I think it is right or when I think it is wrong. You know what I mean? So let's just get into just a little bit of this, just again to break up a little bit of that Netanyahu interview from Pretty Big Douchebag. So this is just a little bit of Anna on TYT describing her appearance on Abby Phillips' show with Scott Jennings. So just a little bit of this, and she does do great work. So again, flowers for Anna.
As Netanyahu said in a statement today that this was a tragic mishap.
Yeah, I think they said also 6 terrorists were
killed. And I
killed.
should say, just to kind of set this up, they're speaking about the recent strike on the Nasser hospital, in which 5 more journalists were killed, in which 20 plus people were killed, where Israel actually double tapped the hospital where they struck it, allowed the aid workers to rush in, allowed the fucking the rescue workers to rush in and start peeling through the rubble, allowed the on-site reporters and journalists to show up, and then again sent in another missile to kill those people that were on site. And then this is what they're talking about. So just to kind of set it up a little bit.
Heck.
Total BS.
We've heard. How do you know?
I know it's BS because of the IDF's internal documents, which indicate that 83% of people killed there happen to be civilians.
That there weren't any terrorists.
I'm not going to sit here and regurgitate the lies from the Israeli government as they're conducting a genocide.
I kind of got into it with Scott Jennings on Abby Phillips's CNN show last night, and I kind of wanted to revisit some of these moments, some of the highlights. Before we get to the first clip, Waz, any thoughts on that fiery moment?
Just the guy's smugness of how do
no
you
disrespect,
know?
Waz,
They're 80 when we know the age of 6.
She has to say about her own appearance. So here we go.
Statement and accept or think that we're all going to accept it and regurgitate it like propagandists, like Scott Jennings do. Okay, like I need to see some evidence. And to the credit of the Associated Press, in a story that I covered earlier, they report, yeah, Israel's saying this, but they haven't provided a shred of evidence at all. And in fact, of the people who were killed in that double tap strike, here are the names. Here's what they did: like a hospital worker, medical driver, like just 5 journalists. It's just such BS. And look, Israel got away with it in the very beginning and in the middle and all the way up to like maybe last week, but not anymore. I mean, we never bought it, but the whole of the US media just kind of went along with the lies. So with that in mind, let's go to our first lengthy video, I guess. This is where I just kind of lay out everything that needs to be laid out in regard to what Israel's real intentions are.
I don't believe for a second that those journalists were not targeted. I think journalists are being targeted in Gaza. They're not allowing international journalists to report on the ground to enter the Gaza Strip, unless, of course, they're being accompanied by IDF soldiers. And hundreds of journalists have been slaughtered in Gaza. Every single time it happens, Netanyahu comes out and says, oh, it was a mishap. And the United States just forgets about it and moves on, continues providing more bombs. I do consider it a genocide when you have humanitarian aid workers being slaughtered, when you have every single hospital bombed, when you have the entire Gaza Strip leveled. That's not a war. A war, if you do targeted strikes and you go after the combatants. 729 magazine, an Israeli publication, obtained IDF documents showing, their data shows that 83% of the people slaughtered in Gaza are civilians, 83%. Let me say it again, 83%. How are you going to?
And she just mentioned that's an Israeli publication, right? And that's above and beyond. I might just let it play just so I can look for this in the background. Yeah, I'll let that go. But I'm going to look for this in the background where, again, it's more reporting from Israeli outlets themselves on the actions of their own military.
Call that a war against Hamas.
Let's just note for the record that as I was making my point about how Israel should be doing targeted strikes instead of leveling the entirety of the Gaza Strip, this is what Scott Jennings's face looked like. I mean, look, when I'm on these types of panels, even when I do Piers Morgan's show, I try really hard to not do this annoying thing that other panelists do. We're like I can't stand it. If I really want to make my feelings known, I just interrupt them and then I talk over them. Okay? It's the more honorable way of doing it. But everything I said is verifiable. Everything.
There were a bunch of foreign doctors.
Here's just one example that I just saw here. Here's Gaza out of control. Israeli troops do what they want. This is who spoke to Haaretz. Haaretz is an Israeli publication. The killing of the 7 aid workers in the Gaza Strip by the Israeli army on Monday night has exposed a disturbing lack of discipline and control with the ranks of the Israeli occupation forces, according to army sources who spoke to Haaretz. The source revealed that the incident, which took place at the Deir al-Bala, was a result of officers and soldiers violating the IDF regulations and orders rather than a lack of coordination between the army and aid organizations. But if you'll remember, the original thing that the IDF came out with and said that they weren't, they weren't traveling in the right way, they weren't properly marked, or they were in the wrong area. I forget what fucking bullshit excuse they used, but it was found in one of the victims' pockets, a cell phone with actual video on it. And let me see if I can find this as well. Oh, shit, I wasn't even showing. That's my apologies. So this is what I was showing. Gaza, out of control. Israeli troops do whatever they want. And then I was showing you down here where it says, spoke to Haaretz. Haaretz here is an Israeli publication. I read that to you. But let me see if I can find there's actually a James O'Brien clip. Let me see. James O'Brien, bear with me. How should I put this? Aid workers video Gaza. Maybe that'll bring it up. Let's see, aid worker contractors strikes got weeks. Let's see here. I think I'm trying to find the short clip. Is this it? No. Let me just type in cell phone, see if that helps. Because he speaks about the fact that the IDF didn't no, that's not going to do it because he does a phone show. So it's just pulling up all the phone calls now. All right, let me go back to the last one because he's talking about finding a cell phone with the video. See if I'll just play versus Israel defending call over aid workers. Aid worker caught in Israel's lethal strike speaks to, that might be before it. Fuck, I hate trying to find something live because I'm never good at it. Reacts to aid workers killed. All right, let me just see if I can.
We'll be crossing to Israel shortly for the latest on the.
This is when the aid workers
really
killed.
One, the absolute destruction of Gaza's Al Shifa hospital, and two, the killing of 7 aid workers by the Israeli Defense Force, despite reports that the charity for which they worked, the World Central Kitchen, had shared details of their itinerary with the IDF. They had coordinated their convoys' movements with the IDF, but nonetheless, 7 now are dead: an Australian, Polish, British, Palestinian, and a dual US-Canadian citizen among them. Noga Tarnopolsky is a freelance journalist in Jerusalem who has helped us out on this program and the wider station LBC many times since this conflict began, of course, with that Hamas terror attack on Israel, in Israel on October the 7th of last year. And Noga joins us now. I don't imagine there's much to add, so just bring us up to date with what we know.
So this sounds like it was just after the thing, that event happened. So it might take a little bit of finding, but you can go back, and he actually does a whole video just on the fact that this cell phone was found in one of the pockets of the aid workers. That showed exactly what happened. It showed the ambulances with their lights on. It showed them properly marked. Again, as you just heard James O'Brien say, this was already coordinated between the World Central Kitchen and the IDF on where the movements were going to be, times and dates, I'm sure, to ensure that something like this didn't happen. But, you can see the reaction, and I apologize for, I did my best to try to find the exact video, but, with the amount of videos that you'd have to sift through, especially him being a person that takes phone calls and talking about a phone, it's kind of hard. But I would advise you, if you have the time, to kind of sift through a little bit of you can type in James O'Brien Gaza reaction, and I'm sure if you spend enough time you'll find it. And it talks about, again, the cell phone footage that shows directly that Israel was lying, that the spokespeople were lying, the IDF were lying like outright about what happened, and they continue to do so, which is why Anna is saying here that no, I'm not going to believe what they say right off the bat. No, I'm not just going to automatically believe what the IDF is telling me, because I've learned from past incidents that have made me look like an asshole when I did believe what they say, and it comes out not that much later that is the total opposite of what actually happened. So let's just go on and see if she shows another clip here from her time, because she does have a few other ones here.
So, in the middle of this debate, the topic of the West Bank came up, and I think it's important to remember the West Bank.
This is very important, guys, too, because a lot of people in the chat may not be up to snuff on this, right? May not be as fucking knowledgeable on the area or the situation to bring this up when somebody says it in a debate. So pay attention to not only what she says here, but this next segment.
Especially as, the Israel defenders pretend like they care about the hostages and that this is all about the hostages. Take a look.
Why is Israel annexing the West Bank, which of course is not governed by Hamas at all? Why are
Did you hear that, Pot? Did you hear that, Pot? I'll play it one more time. One more time. Ready? Here we go.
Which of course is not governed by Hamas at all.
Why are they going after the West Bank, which is not governed by Hamas at all? Check it.
And like they care about the hostages and that this is all about the hostages. Take a look.
Why is Israel annexing the West Bank, which of course is not governed by Hamas at all? Why are Israeli settlers allowed to just run?
Remember how I was telling you that Benjamin Netanyahu used to feed funds to Hamas in order to keep the West Bank separated from Gaza? Right, so they want to make sure that there is fucking always an ongoing battle, so that they can continue to point to this, this fucking state that is currently in turmoil or always in turmoil, where there's no fucking resolution happen. So as long as he can keep that turmoil going, he can tell everybody in the international committee, "Oh, we got these crazy people next to us, so we got to fucking look out for." Right? Well, she's now bringing up a great point that Scott Jennings doesn't have a fucking answer for.
Palestinians out of their legal homes, build thousands of illegal settlements. West Bank has nothing to do with Hamas. Why is Israel annexing it? Why did Netanyahu say that his stated goal in an interview with I-24 News, an Israeli publication, say that he has a religious need to pursue the greater Israel
I'm going to let Scott answer quickly, and then we've got to go. Go ahead, Scott.
Go ahead, Scott.
My view is this. The hostages have been there for almost 700 days. There's a reason that Hamas is not
Are you going to answer her question, though?
I don't know. I don't work for the Israeli government.
So he has absolutely no answer, right? Can't even in that position be like, hey, you know what, Anna? That's a great question. That's a great question. It doesn't really make sense that you would be annexing the West Bank when Hamas has no control if your ultimate goal is to just eliminate Hamas entirely. If it's not to eliminate the Palestinian people entirely, then what is the point of annexing the West Bank? What does that have to do with Hamas? And again, Scott Jennings has absolutely no fucking response for it and can't even dig it out of his fucking soul to give Anna credit for the great point that she's making, or at least the fact that he has no credible answer to the question.
It certainly sounds like you work for the Israeli government. Okay, there are no hostages in the West Bank, and he knows that. He knows that, Waz.
Again, they don't.
Here, I guess she questions
they can't
about
really
blocking.
defend.
Excuse me. Sorry, I don't want to talk over the video. In this next one, she questions him, I believe, or it's about the blocking of humanitarian aid. So let's take a look at this next clip.
It not only impacts the Palestinians.
Oh, sorry, let me catch it at the beginning. My apologies. Here we go.
So the topic of the starvation came up, but Scott Jennings brought it up specifically in regard to the hostage.
So yeah, Alyosha with more breaking news. Appreciate you, Alyosha. Trump administration's announced Wednesday that it is imposing sanctions on four members of the ICC, saying that they are engaged in efforts to, quote, investigate, arrest, detain, or prosecute Americans and Israelis without the consent of either country. The sanctions were slapped on two judges and two prosecutors at the ICC, France's Nicolas Yan Guillou and Fiji's Nazat Shamim Khan, Senegal's Mame Mandiaye Nyang, and Canada's Kimberly Prost. Again, just trying to further discredit. And this is a guarantee, either something directly brought up by Benjamin Netanyahu or at the direct benefit for Benjamin Netanyahu. And on top of that, Vladimir Putin, to again bring more, fucking problems to the International Criminal Court, trying to again lower their standing and make it seem like anything that they find is irrelevant But again, I'd be very, very surprised if that didn't come straight from Benjamin Netanyahu, straight from the top of Israel right there, straight from AIPAC, to have to have Donald Trump exact revenge on the International Criminal Court for investigating, arresting, detaining, and prosecuting Americans and Israelis without consent, supposedly. But you know what's funny is they didn't investigate, arrest. Well, they did. They investigated, arrested, and detained, but they didn't prosecute again. Remember this, guys? Remember this? Let's go. Let's see here if this brings it up. Here we go. There we go. Here we go. Remember this? Oops, sorry, Alyosha. How an alleged Israeli child sex predator was allowed to leave the United States. Man, seems like the Israeli officials are getting a preferential treatment from people inside the United States, while the International Criminal Court is just trying to, again, prosecute war criminals and prosecute these criminals for the crimes that they have committed literally in front of our faces. But I don't know. Apparently, they're allowed to leave the United States if they are, A, investigated, arrested, and detained for engaging in child sex charges, trafficking. Here, let's just remember this in case anybody wasn't with us when we reported on this. This has just happened. Not that long ago, a senior Israeli official was arrested in the United States earlier this month and charged with seeking sexual contact with a minor, only to be released on bail with no conditions or monitoring, allowing him to flee to Israel. The case involving Tom Artyom Alexandrovich in Nevada is now stirring controversy with politicians and social media commentators like me, accusing the government of interfering in the judicial process to allow the cybersecurity official to return home without facing justice. So a cybersecurity official from Israel gets wrapped up in a fucking child sex ring and is allowed to return home. Are you telling me that the cybersecurity official didn't know any better? Just happened to fucking stumble upon this fucking sex room involving children where you could fucking, barter back and forth using children? The cybersecurity expert didn't know what was going on. He was just helplessly involved, wrapped up in this shit. And just to let you know, Israel has killed nearly 19,000 children in Gaza as strikes intensify. 19,000 children. And I guarantee that number is exponentially higher, just like the number of dead in total is going to be exponentially higher. And again, this is from 19 August 2025. So what was that, 9 days ago? So even that's probably gone up. Again, here's more lions, ladies and gentlemen. There's lions on the left. These are the lions of fucking Palestine that Benjamin Netanyahu wants to say that he's fighting as a badger. But yep, Alexandrovich was arrested August 6th, but the incident was not made public to more than a week later. Undercover operation targeting child sex predators. If you don't need more evidence to suggest this administration is, giving preferable treatment to child sex predators like Ghislaine Maxwell, saying that Jeffrey Epstein was innocent, never had anything to do with criminalities. Now they're allowing Israeli cybersecurity officials that were wrapped up in an ongoing investigation about child sex trafficking to return to Israel again, and was even defended by Benjamin Netanyahu himself. Just in case you weren't sure where Benjamin Netanyahu stood on this too. So let's go.
The hostages. And I had a rebuttal. Let's take a look.
When you block humanitarian in the Gaza Strip for 3 months straight, it not only impacts the
Hold on, one more. Hold on. Let's see here. But I'm still a Patreon and support Brian, Hal, Midas, the Major, Dalmore, and others, but have no perks. Well, I've kind of been open and upfront about that, not to kind of go on a side fucking shuffle here, but I've kind of been open and upfront about the fact that I hide nothing behind a paywall. Perks typically come from when people have shit behind a paywall or have members only lives that they do. So it's hard for me to, there's no perks to, I don't want to charge you. I don't want to have you have the need to come out of pocket with money in order to see some content that I produced that may be, beneficial or influential or whatever it may be. Like people have been watching me since the start, and if they don't have another $5 or something, it shouldn't stop them from seeing my content. Like other sites, like Midas is huge and has fucking multiple different platforms and channels and podcasts, and they do members only, and there's perks, and you can get access to this and that if you spend more money. I don't have that. I don't want you to have to spend more money in order to gain access to my content. I tell you that it is, as open and as upfront as I could possibly be, that is literally just you showing support for this channel, you helping produce this content, you keeping this channel running. Maybe as we grow, we can add different layers onto this. And, if you guys ask for different things, we can come up with different things. But as of right now, I'm not going to dare try to make it so that if you don't have $1 to spend, that you are restricted from some area of my content or, some area of anything that I have to put out there or anything important that I think I have to say. So that's why I appreciate you guys so much. That's why I show the appreciation that I do for you guys, because I know there's not as much incentive there as there is on bigger channels to, gain access to their fucking podcast early, or, gain access to their live shows early, or have membership, whatever it is. The perks that I give are minimal. I understand that. I am under no illusions that I give you like these fucking huge and outstanding perks that are well worth the time and money that you put in. I understand. Believe me, I'm right there with you guys. So, what do you mean? I got it. Thank you. So, and even if that's not what was brought up, I find it important to remind people that I understand very, very clearly that there's a reason that I don't put shit behind a paywall, I don't sell you. There's no ads in the middle of my videos unless that's put on by YouTube, and you don't have premium, which I have no control over. So I try to make it as content oriented as possible without you needing having the need to come out of pocket with any money. So I appreciate it. Sorry if I was off track or if that wasn't what the comment was about. My apologies, but I just feel like it's important to to tell everybody once in a while that, believe me, I understand that it is your support and your support alone that keeps this channel going. So I appreciate it. Thank you. And I apologize if that's not what the conversation was about.
Palestinians, which I know you couldn't care less about, but it also obviously is going to impact the hostages. They're going to starve to death as well.
You're saying Israel is starving the hostages?
I'm saying, yes. When you block humanitarian aid for 3 months, where do you think they're going to...
Now, where does he get the balls to laugh at that from? Like, he didn't combat it with any rhetoric. He didn't combat it and say it's ridiculous because this. Like, if you are starving the population that is in control of the hostages, what do you think that means for the hostages? And again, this just goes to show that Israel has not a fucking flying fucking care in the world about these hostages. If you need to look any further than the fact that they shot their own hostages as they were being released, if you need to look any further than Benjamin Netanyahu saying himself that this war would not stop, the act of genocide and ethnic cleansing that they are fucking engaged in would not stop, even if all of the hostages were released. This is about the utter destruction of the Palestinian people and what they call Hamas. But what they really mean is the entirety of the Palestinian people, to get them out of their fucking area that they have lived in for so long in order to occupy that area with Israeli settlers. So, again, sorry if I was a little off track or off beat on that. But where the fuck does Scott Jennings get the gall to laugh at this hysterically? Like, anything is funny about this conversation. Like, anything is funny. Even if she's wrong, it's fucking gross to show that level of carelessness, of callousness when engaged in a fucking conversation of this nature. Fucking gross. Oh, hold on. My apologies. I played the wrong one. I'll put this back on the screen for you guys. And thank you to Travis. And there was somebody else that it popped up on my phone. I was ranting and raving that signed up at Patreon. I really, really, really do appreciate that. And thank you to Tia Teresa 467 for the 10 gifted. Really, really huge and means a lot. Goes a long way. Still a big another thank you to Jesse for last night donating and gifting 50 memberships, which is fucking incredible. So thank you, Tia. Thank you, Travis, and I will be sure to thank everybody that signs up at Patreon or becomes a channel member or gives a gift or super chat or whatever it is, because that's one of my favorite times of the show is thanking you guys for helping me gain get to this position. So thank you, and I'll continue to do that till as long as the show runs. Off, it keeps playing the wrong one here. My apologies. Back on the screen. Back to this. Here.
Got the food from Max, Israel. What a joke.
Are you blaming Israel for something? Yeah, I am. He was shocked. I can't believe someone's blaming Israel for something. They've never done anything wrong, ever. Are you kidding me? Israel?
So that story that we were just talking about the Israeli official let go, Anna brings up on this show. So let's see if we can dive into that and see what Scott Jennings has to say about the Israeli official being allowed to just waltz his ass back to Israel after being wrapped up in a Nevada fucking investigation about child sex trafficking. And just to remind everybody, the man was a cyber security expert. So he didn't just fucking stumble his ass into this fucking chat room. I can tell you that much.
I'm not going to lie, the reaction to this, or the lack of reaction to this, made me very depressed all last night, pretty much all of today. So I finally brought up what I find to be a gross injustice, and it has to do with an alleged Israeli pedophile. Take a look.
The problem with Trump, though, is I think crime is the cover story. I think this is a power grab. And the reason why I say that is because look at the specific examples of crime that he allegedly wants to go after. I mean, just recently, his FBI did a sting operation in Las Vegas, and they managed to catch, through this sting operation, 8 separate pedophiles that were trying to have sex with minors, okay? One of those pedophiles is an Israeli government official who his government allowed to fly back to Israel after he had been charged in that sting operation for using technology to lure a minor for sex. And when it comes to the immigration issue, he loves to go after the undocumented immigrants, but not the employers employing the undocumented immigrants.
You mentioned that Trump, you described it as a cover story, but I think it's also worth noting that Trump has been talking about doing this.
So no comment on the fact that there was an Israeli government official.
Right, and that's a big fucking boo-boo. That's a big oopsie on Abby Phillips. So again, I can't stand this fucking show, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think Abby Phillips' show has any benefit whatsoever. I think it's just a fucking mini Piers Morgan episode. They continue to have Scott Jennings on night after fucking night after night, knowing what a horrendous, despicable piece of shit he is, knowing that he doesn't answer questions, knowing that he's fucking bigoted and racist and fucking spiteful and hateful. Yet they continue to have him on night after night because they know he pisses off the other guests on the other side of the table, and then that fucking combat gets good fucking is what they consider good television, right? But if CNN really gave a fuck, if they really gave a shit, they'd stash that motherfucker in a closet somewhere and never let him out. And they'd actually have people that cared about humanity, that actually were willing to recognize reality on their shows to talk about what can be done to fucking help people in this position, right? What's up, Mike? 13 days? Fuck, man. Let's go. Hopefully, what's today? Thursday. Hopefully you'll be out Saturday, you said, right? So hopefully that's coming to an end, my man. Hopefully you got a nice, pretty nurse where you can push that button. Hopefully they get a TV or something for you to watch. But we're wishing you the best, buddy. We're wishing you the best. I'm sorry that you've had to endure that. Oh, you're going home today? Let's fucking go. Yes. Let's fucking go. My apologies. I must have missed that. If that was said, my apologies. Let's fucking go. I'm really, that makes me really happy. That makes me really happy. I really, really am thankful that that was put in the chat right now. Mike, I'm sorry that you've had to endure what you've gone through. I hope you were well taken care of, and I'm very happy to hear that you will be hopefully as comfortable as possible, be resting in your own fucking bed tonight. So thank you for fighting as hard as you do. Thank you for again fucking having the fight and the passion that you do. Thank you for showing up in the chat when you're going through so much, dude. It means a lot. It really means a lot. Can't wait to see my. Oh man, I can't even. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be a good moment. I definitely fucking wish you the best. I wish you the best. I hope that's a as good a moment as you thinking it's gonna be, because it is. It is. All right. So, oh fuck, I'm out of time. Oh shit, I'm already over. All right. Let's just see if there's anything else. Let's see if there's one more clip that she talks about in here. If not, then we can probably call this a wrap. Let's see. Where did we get to on the Netanyahu? So we are at 22 minutes. 22 minutes. So I'll write that down. And then on, what's today? Thursday. So maybe on Sunday show, it might be a little bit out of date by then. But on Sunday show, we do have a very special guest. Chris Cluey is going to be joining us, so please don't forget to hit that alert bell. That'll let you know when we go live. Chris Cluey. Yeah, let me just see if I can play this. I might as well, right? Might as well. This will give you a little, because I'm sure you people, not everybody has a perfect idea of who I'm talking about here. Let me just see. So I'm going to play this for you guys. And share this tab instead. Put this up on the screen. So this is who we're going to be having on Sunday. Again, Chris Cluey is going to be, he is running for an assembly seat here in California, in Orange County to be exact. But let me see if I can play this. Is it going to let me play it? No? No sound? Why no sound? Oh, here we go. Oh, figures. I refreshed it. Give me a second. Give me a sec. Oh, thank you, JD. Thank you, JD. Give me 1 second. I just want to refresh everybody's memory as to who Chris is. Why does this keep freezing? Expand. All right, let's find. Oh, now it does it. Jesus H. Christ. All right, one more try. That's all I get. One more try at it. One more try at it. Let's do this one.
Hi, my name's Chris Cluey, 15-year HB resident. I'm here to speak out against both the plaque and the current city council. As the community made clear at the Library Commission meeting last Tuesday, everyone is in favor of a plaque to celebrate the library, but the vast majority are against including a MAGA acrostic. Okay. Unfortunately, it's clear that this council does not listen. So instead, I'm going to take my time to say what MAGA has stood for these past 3 weeks. MAGA stands for trying to erase trans people from existence. MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic controllers while planes are crashing. MAGA stands for firing the people overseeing our nuclear arsenal. MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children. MAGA is profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy, and most importantly, MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
Get the heck. Get out.
And then he is forcibly removed. So we're going to be speaking with Chris on Sunday. Very excited for that. Very honored that he would take the time out to, again, join the little podcast that could here at Blunt Politics. But let me get into thanking you people, and I will make sure that you get on with the rest of your day, as you should, because I'm sure you have some fantastic shows to watch, some fantastic people to meet. Make sure you're calling your family as well, guys. Make sure you're calling your family. So let me just see here on... I'm just going to go to Venmo. So thank you, Linda. Thank you, Teague, as always. Thank you, David. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, as always, to my beautiful sister, Kelly. I appreciate you very much. And let's get into the to everybody that gifted, left a super chat, reached a milestone here. Patrick kicking it off in an awesome way. As always, thank you, buddy, for the 5 gifted memberships. We're on our way up that chart. As far as the membership is concerned, I really do appreciate you guys. I think we had just passed 500 about a month ago, some time ago. So thank you guys for helping this channel reach that milestone. We're on to 1,000. So if you guys can continue supporting, I would be very much appreciative of that. So thank you, Patrick, for continuing doing your work down there. Thank you, WW. 18 months. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's go. I don't know if I've seen more than 18. Is 18 the most? I don't know if I've been doing it longer than 18 months. Nah, not a lot to say, but hello, gang. Grace and peace. That's more than enough, my friend. More than enough. And congratulations on your milestone. Awesome of you. Appreciate the loyalty. Thank you, Linda Lou. Not only for the 5 gifted, but also the fabulous Venmo, if that's also you. I'm just guessing on that one, but I'm assuming it is. But we're assuming gets you usually, so I should probably stop doing that. But thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you, Cool Breeze, for being here for 14 months. Let's go. Much success to you. Proud to be here. Well, thank you, Cool Breeze. I very appreciate that, and I am very proud to have you here. I'm very proud of the community that we have built here and the friends that you guys have made in that chat with each other, like AI Jesus here. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for the 99. Big help. Honestly, a buck or two is all I say. Will go a long way in helping this community. So thank you so much. Thank you, Luis, for being here for 17 months as well. Love being where we learn more and get exposed to other people we should listen to. F the NRA, F ICE, F Netanyahu, F Trump, and their supporters. We're all right there with you, Luis. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you. Thoughts and prayer, not thoughts and prayers, but policy and change. Amen, moms. Amen. Amen. And again, hearts out to the children who lost their lives and the parents and families affected, obviously, but just goes to add to the conversation of why we need better gun legislation, and to make sure that regardless of how strict one area's gun laws may be, it means absolutely nothing if the surrounding states have lackadaisical gun laws and don't enforce whatever laws may already be on the books. And then those guns just cross state lines and get into the places with the lackadaisical, with these strict gun laws, again, making it look like those gun laws have no effect when in reality those guns are coming from all over the place and not from in the state there. So thank you so much, moms. I appreciate that. Appreciate all your support and your help. Let's see. 5 Alarm Fire is next. Why are we paying for Israel to have universal health care, free college, and abortion on demand for medical necessity? Great question. Great question. All things, I think I'd be surprised. I think MAGA would be surprised to hear that they are going on and supporting, right? I think they'd probably have a little problem with, at least I know, the abortion part of that. And maybe even the universal health care and free college and medical necessity. They'd probably have a problem with that whole and fucking entire thing if they knew. But again, they don't educate themselves. They don't stay informed, so they don't know any of that shit. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate that. Wonder when BB will start wearing a MAGA hat. He probably already has. I'm sure he's gone to that. I'm sure he's gone to Donald Trump's little gift shop that he set up in the fucking Oval Office there. And I'm sure he's got a Trump was right about everything and everything else. So hanging in his office, you can be fucking damn sure. A potty mouth bonus. Thank you, moms. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I need it. Believe me, I need another potty mouth. You can tell I swear a lot by the chats that I get, the super chats. It's like potty mouth, stop swearing, swear jar. But thank you, Robin. Great to see you. So great to see you, Robin. I appreciate that. And I'm going to need it. I'm going to get like a jar I'm going to fill behind me sometime. What else we got? Where'd I leave off? We got Robin. Oh, we got Robin again. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Great to see you. Thank you for the contributions. Very nice of you. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Sheldon, again. And then Tia came in with the fucking 10 gifted. Let's go, Tia. Big day for TT. I appreciate that. Hopefully that's an okay nickname that I could use. I'm a big nickname guy. I try to come up with nicknames a lot. So TT is the first thing that came to mind. So TT, it shall be until you say it can't be. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted. And make sure anybody that's receiving gifted memberships in the chat that you did obviously not sign up for yourself, but was gifted, to thank the person. It should say right in the chat who gifted you that membership. So make sure you reach out, tag them in the chat, say thank you, send them a nice little emoji. And make sure that we are recognizing the kind contributions that people make to this channel, regardless of how they are. So thank you very much, Tia. Thank you, 5 Alarm Fire, for becoming a new member. Let's fucking go. I love it when people become new members. It means they like what they're hearing. They like what you're seeing, at least in this episode. I hope you find a nice home there in the chat where you can engage in some great conversation, some great dialogue. Without feeling like you're being held back at all. So thank you so much, 5 Alarm. And then coming in with 10 gifted memberships. Damn, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you so fucking much. What a big fucking day. Big contribution, my man. Big contributions to the channel. I appreciate that. Especially, becoming a new member yourself and gifting memberships out. That means a lot. That means a lot. So it's appreciated. It's recognized. And thank you so much. Hope to see you back here for every show. Really, that'd be cool. Thank you, JD. Salty ass profanity bonus. Oh, JD, you crack me up. I do it. I do. It fucking cracks me. And 5 Alarm Fight is back again. Dude, thank you, brother. Thank you at Boston Brian for doing what you're doing. Let's fucking go. Well, thank you, dude. Really. Honestly, thank you for doing what you're doing, because it's your contributions and the contributions from other people just like you there in the chat that help independent media like this, which is true to the sense of the word independent media. No ads, no backers, no fucking nothing to sell you, nothing behind a paywall, as we spoke about earlier. But it's literally just, it's kind people like you. It's generous people like you. It's people that stay involved like you guys that help continuously push these channels out there and make sure that we're going to hit 15, we're going to hit 20, and we're going to hit 50, and then 100,000 subscribers. I know it's going to happen. I know once this election season starts kicking off, people are going to become even more involved and even more passionate. And I'm going to be right here every step of the way for you guys to fight hand in hand, side by side, at every fucking battlefield that we find ourselves on. So how about that? I appreciate you, 5 Alarm. Thank you, dude. And then to give to round it out, Ricky, just it's been a wonderful few days for you, Ricky. Thank you so much for your kind contributions over the last few shows. Like I said, they do not go unrecognized. They are very much appreciated, and we do notice. I promise they are very much noticed. So I'm way over. I apologize. I'll let you guys go. Make sure you're watching all of the fine independent media that we have here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. There are some fantastic creators. Make sure, if I myself am not the person that gives you the most bang for your buck, the most value for your entertainment, takes up the most time in your day, helps pass the time in the day, then make sure you find at least the person or a few people that do absolutely find that you find the most value in, because that's, again, another way, a great way to help this community grow. Thanks again for Jesse stopping by last night. Thank you to Jesse for his kind contributions to the show. I'm looking forward to talking to Chris Cluey on Sunday. Then we'll be talking to Michael Fanone on Tuesday. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. You don't want to miss any of the content that we have coming out. Hopefully more and more and more of that to come. I thank you all very, very much for your continued support of the channel. I really do. I can't say thank you enough where it actually gets across appropriately how much I really do appreciate it. So thank you, mods. I appreciate you for all the time you sacrifice, all the bullshit you put up with, all of my bullshit that you put up with. And thank you to all you fine people in the chat. I will see you Sunday for, I don't know what is people call the main show, but I'll see you Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific here on the West Coast. Make sure you're getting outside. Make sure you're finding the nearest rally. Make sure you're finding your nearest protest. Stay out there, stay loud, stay proud, stay aggressive. We have the policies, we have the facts on our side, but make sure you're keeping your head on the swivel. Stay safe out there. Until Sunday, continue to kick ass. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics, the political podcast made to sift through the bullshit, the propaganda, and the lies of the mainstream media, the Republican Party, and Donald Trump him fucking self, and breaking that down for the normal, everyday, working class individuals like myself and like you guys who help this country run. Because that's who's affected by these policies. And that way we are here to defend and protect marginalized communities and people that may not be in the position to defend themselves. So that's why we're here. That's what we do. And thank you to everybody for contributing. I'll see you guys Sunday. All right. I appreciate it. Let me see if I can take you out of here without any mistakes. Later, guys. Appreciate it. I'm a mod for the Angry Ginger and Mr. Straight Facts. I saw you in AG's chat yesterday, and I'm here for it. Well, dude, I can't honestly thank you enough for not only, spotting and recognizing the channel, but also coming in here and making such a huge splash in the chat and contributing so much and so early and often to the chat. It's people like you that really keep the wheels turning on shows like this. So I appreciate you. Thank you for the work that you do for not only the Angry Ginger, but also Mr. Straight Facts. And thank you for being here. I appreciate that. I didn't want to make it seem like I was going to let that one slide by. So I appreciate it. Again, keep kicking ass, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you Sunday. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Yes, that's right. Thank you, Tiff. VIP Zoom tonight, guys. Don't forget. 8 p.m. Eastern. No, Tom, I don't know about 100,000. I'd say I should comfortably have somewhere in the area of 15 to 20. I'd say that's probably right. I think 100 would be pushing it. Cal's been doing this for a long time. A lot of people have been doing this for a long time. Not 100 days, so I'm not trying to overstep my boundaries. I'll pay my dues just like everybody else. Thank you, guys.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
Brian, you're drunk. You're drunk.
Here you got a little chubby going there.
Referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. The rest of my life, I have the curse that I have little hands. Little hands. Oh, get those lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off.
Big, massive dumps.
Obama. Obama. Obama.
I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
Cacophony, a crescendo, a finale, a coup de grace. My superpower's being honest. I will eat my neighbors.
Taking it back to Nevada where he's wanted for banging horses. I say mud, I said crud. You fall into some crud or something? It took over the airport, it did everything it had to do. We're a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat. Never fight uphill, me boys, never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow, that was a big mistake. He lost his great general. And they were fighting. Never fight uphill, me boys, but it was too late. Our army manned the air. Gettysburg, what an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg, what an unbelievable. I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow. I go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to look and to watch.
been conserved since the time of lobsters, right? There weren't trees around when lobsters first manifested themselves on the planet.
When you ran out the healthy arms, you ran out of really healthy. They had great arms, but they ran out. It's called sports. It's called baseball in particular, and pitchers, I guess you could say, in really particular. This week it was reported that an illegal and you just look at this, what's happening.
Shifting production to Thailand and to Vietnam.
The population in Thailand is 63 million people. It is twice the size of Wyoming. Its chief exports are textiles, footwear, and rice. Each year, approximately 13,000 people are killed in car accidents in Thailand.
I am the chosen one.
Go fuck yourself.
I am the chosen one.
Go fuck yourself.
Yesterday's a hard word for me. Vagina. Vagina. No words. I have the best words. But there's no better word than stupid. Eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Say mud, I said crud. Fall into some crud or something.
We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel, and he's doing great. The big, fat, sloppy United States.